Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and today I thought I would film the very highly requested craft area tour for you. So I have three separate areas that I'll be showing you in this video. The first is this desk, which is where I actually do my crafting. Then I also have some shelves in like my cupboards which have craft storage, and then I wasn't going to pop it in, but I thought I would anyway. It's my like storage container for my resin stuff, which is actually put under my bed. So I'm going to start off with this desk. I'll start off on the side. So here on the side of my desk I have like a little Yoshi collection, which is the dinosaur from the Super Mario games, as you may know. So there's like a few different sizes, and then I've got like a bigger one, and then there's one sitting on his head as well. And I just collect those like over time. I don't buy them all at once. People give them to me, and if I see them I, usually grab them because I really like Yoshi. And you'll probably see a few more Yoshi things throughout this craft tour because he's one of my favorite characters. So now just coming over here, I'll show you this main area. So, the chair. This is like just a regular office swivel chair that I sit on while I'm crafting. This is the area where I mainly make everything that I do. It's a world map desk mat, and my dad cut a piece of glass, which is what I do my crafting on. It's just a large sheet, and he got it cut to size of my world map. And then under here I just have an A3 sheet of paper, which I have like a white background for YouTube videos and stuff. Then just over here is the lid for my chalk pastels, but hiding under here are a few cupcake charms that I'm yet to finish. Over here in the corner I have a little purple piggy rubber. There's a photo of my sister and I that she put in like this little wooden frame thing for me one year for Christmas. I have these fine liners in rainbow colours, and they're by Smiggle, which I think is only in Australia. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Then I have this Scootaloo figurine from My Little Pony. I have this like little notes holder which has paper in it for notes, obviously. I then have another note holder which just has, this is like plain paper, and then these are sticky notes, and then there's also a little drawer which I'm not actually sure what has in it. Next to that I have a toothless figurine. I didn't make this, I bought it. So he just sits there. Then I have a calendar which is currently on June. There's some birthdays. Over here I have some actual craft stuff. So there's some cotton tips, or like Q-tips if you live in the US. I have my glaze in just this old jar, and I use polyurethane glaze. The brand I use is it's called Cabot's. I think it's only in Australia, that brand, but you can get polyurethane wherever you live in the world as well. And then behind that I just have some nail polish remover that I use to help get dust off my charms. Next over here I just have two little containers, like box things. This one has pencils in it, and then this one has like pens and fine liners. Next to that I have a little packet of mints, and then this is like kind of like a little portable calculator. It's broken, but I used to use it when I was doing like maths here for my schoolwork. Then over here I have this board. So half is like a cork board, and then there's a magnet board. So this just has like a few ideas on it. This was when I was like designing my Baymax chibi for my tutorial. There's a few other designs over here. Then there's a note. This is from Alex, or Polymomo T, as you already know him probably. And then this is just from Amy, or Little Surprises YT, here on YouTube and Instagram as well. Coming down here I have my iPod dock where I listen to music while I craft. So I've got my iPod on here. There's the little remote as well. This is a remote hiding in the corner for an old CD player, which I'll show you in a moment. Here I have this little like a coin, like a piggy bank, but it's a little dinosaur, and it's kind of like a play on words. You can get a whole heap of them in different names, but the one I have is a Rachel O'Dactyl because it's got my name in it, and then it's just got a little pterodactyl on there. Then hiding behind here, I have my chalk pastels, which I use for crafting. So I got these ones off eBay. You can easily find them. I just searched for like hair chalk because it's the same thing. So I'll just quickly show you those. The lid's over there like I showed you before. So there's like all the warmish sort of colours. Then under here, I kept all the paper in to keep it nice and neat. Then I have like purples and blues and browns. And then on the bottom, there's like black and green and some darker colours in there as well. Once I put all that back. So yeah, they're really easy to find. I don't know the actual listing I got it from, but as I said, just like search for chalk pastels on eBay or hair chalk. You can also get chalk pastels from craft stores as well, but a lot of people seem to have a lot of difficulty finding them or something. Anyway, so the last thing I have on the main bit is my like crafting box where I keep all my clay. I do have a separate video on this as well. I might make an updated one, but this tub was just from Kmart and on the side it has craft written on it. I don't know if you can just get it from like the Australian Kmart or you can get it from the ones in like the US as well. I'm not really sure. But in the top here I just keep all my tools. There's some like eye pins, some glue, then there's my rolling pin, and I've got just like a bunch of different stuff really. There's some like canes in there, there's my sand from the tutorial, I've got some molds, and then like my pliers, and then you can pull this bit out as well. And then in here I have this is my opened clay, so I have a separate spot for my unopened clay. But here's a container. This was like a kit I got when I first started clay, and then I used all the clay from it, so now I just use the container for scrap clay in there. And then in here, this used to be organised in like colours. It still kind of is, but I've added more and more clay over the years, and it's just got a bit messier, as you can sort of see. Then in here I have, what's that one? Oh, that's TLS, Translucent Liquid Sculpey. And then I have my Bacon Bond, but the labels come off that one. So I'll put that back in there. This is really handy too because I can like go out to the kitchen table as well, and then like it's very not flexible, like you can transport it easy, I guess. So that's where I keep all my main clay things. I guess now we'll go up the top. So here I just have like speakers for my old CD player, which is actually here. So there's a speaker at either side. It doesn't get used at the moment though because I've got my dock like I showed you. I then have, this is like a jar that I made using doilies, and it's got a little tea light in there that I just did like a random DIY. Behind that I have this fairy that someone from work bought for me once, and it was like a $2 one, and he had a bet that I wouldn't keep it for very long, so just to prove him wrong I've kept it for like 6 years. So Scott, if you're watching this, I still have your fairy. Up here I then have a bunch of tennis trophies, and then the big one up here is a netball trophy. Over here I then have like this wooden piece I made in year 7, grade 7, like the first year of high school, that we made in woodwork. So I put that together, then using a soldering iron we got to write something on it, so classic me, wrote Rachy rocks. Then I have this photo frame that I got for like my first communion thingy. I then have this that I also made in year 7 in art, and we had to make an animal, so I decided to make my cat, who you may have seen in some of my videos actually. Her name's Rose, she's just a black and white cat, so I decided to make her. So under the wooden piece I then have some little Whipple creations, which is pretty much just like a deco den kit you can get for kids. Over here I have some, these were made ages ago. These are like paper craft. They were like little lilies. I made them for my mum, but she said I could keep them, so I just put them under here. Then there's a super random leaf that Dad got me one time, and it was a circle, so I just keep that up there. Then on the top of this speaker I have this seal plush, and this came from the Melbourne Aquarium. Coming along this part of my desk I have this cupboard. So in here I have, firstly there's a little box which used to have a like a charm in it, but I'm using it, so it's not in there at the moment. Then I have this plush, and this is like the DeviantArt mascot, and his name is Fella. I don't know if you, like any of you have DeviantArt, but I used to have it ages ago for photography, not for clay. And I made like a donation pool and saved up a bunch of points. And then when I had enough, like they used to have a merch shop, I don't know if they have it anymore, but I decided to buy the Fella plush, even with the tag still on. So that's that one. Then in here I just have a few random bits and pieces. There's like a little guardian angel thingy. There's some gel pens in an old Teletubbies cup, and then I just have a few like sketchbooks and sort of scrapbooking things, I guess. So put Fella back in there. His eyebrows always really annoy me, they turn inside out. This next section also has a bunch of random stuff. So I just have this little dog plush, which I called Millie. I have an old Barbie in there. I have some more Deco Den Whipple creations. I have a good old dictionary and thesaurus. Here's the other sort of like little Yoshi shrine. I have a few different ones there. This is a Neopet. Her name is Ixie, and she does like move. I bought her ages ago when I was younger, and I was like really proud of her. And then just sitting here at the front is Memechi as well, which is a Tamagotchi character. Oh, and behind the Yoshi there's, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little, hold on, let it focus. There's a Princess Peach, and then there's also like a Mario hiding behind there as well. Then this piece is just like my name, and this was made by a girl that I used to babysit. She saw I had clay and she gave it a go one time. Like, she's really arty and like crafty as well. And then she got this Sculpey eraser clay one year for Christmas, and then just as a little present she made me my name with it. And then I forgot to show you, but over here is just my little light switch, and it just turns on my light, which I can use at night. The next section I have, let's zoom in, there's a bunch of CDs that I used to use and listen to in my old CD player, which I was talking about before. Then up here I just have a random little book. There's this case that I use when I go traveling, and I put my iPad in there. And then these are Galaxy headphones, and they are from Typo. And then this last cupboard up here has a lot of random stuff too. Well, actually it's pretty bare. This was a pony Barbie horse that I got. Pony Barbie horse, that makes sense. You know what I mean. I got it when I was younger, and she's stayed in here ever since because I didn't want to wreck her mane. I then have a random So Fresh Christmas CD. There's this, what's it called, like a speaker? Portable speaker. So you can plug your iPod in there and then plays the music louder than it can. I then have there's a selfie stick behind there, and then, oh, that looks a bit creepy. But behind here I have another creation I made of my cat Rose, and this one I made in primary school. I would have been 10, 11, but it's like a paper mache one. So what we did is we made like a wire base. You can still see some of the wire. Then we just covered it with like, oh, it's not paper. I don't know what it is. It's like medical, like bandage stuff, and then we just painted it as well. So the drawer down here behind my chair is like a long one. My dad actually modified this desk. So this used to be like a computer one. He could pull it out and then the keyboard's on there, but he changed it so it's a drawer using some like leftover bits and pieces of wood he found from other bits he modified. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway. And then in here I just have stationery stuff. So this is like a container, like a divider, and it just has like sharpeners and glue and scissors, rulers, highlighters. Then over here I have a bunch of like notepads and memo pads. So there's like a Real Akuma one. There's some sticky notes with my name on it that my nana got me. I have some tape. There's some stickers over here. So there's Real Akuma, Sentimental Circus. These are just some other ones I got, little animal ones. On this top drawer at my desk, I have, this is just kind of like I don't know what to call it. It's just got a bunch of random craft stuff and stationery. So I have like pencils, crayons, then the pencil cases which have a bunch of like markers and gel pens in them. I then have some scrapbooking, card making stuff which I'm not going to get out. But I used to be really into like all that sort of area of crafting. So I have quite a lot collected. There's like letters and stickers. Here's some little like split pins. These are heart-shaped ones. I have a whole bunch of rolls of ribbon here. And then down the side here I just have like a bunch of different packets of pearls and rhinestones. Then I have my second drawer, which if you follow my backup account on Instagram called Creative Rachy, you would have seen that I just recently organised it. This is probably my favourite drawer on my desk, but let me just show you. So as you can see, this is all my unopened clay. Oh, although there's a few packets of open clay. So I have this organised into colours, not like brands, but actual colours. So I started, let me take you off the tripod. And it'll be easier for me to show you. So at the back here, I started, there's some reds, then it goes to light pinks, darker pinks, oh, a random red. Oranges, yellows, then it goes back up here to greens, blues, then it starts at purples, goes down to like all the neutral colours pretty much, and then ends with black. Then here I have my big packets of Primo. So this is ecru and then this is just white. This is just like cheaper clay that I got from the $2 store that I sometimes use but not very often. So I have a few different colours of that. I then have some packets of Fimo Kids, which I have yet to try because I really want to do a review on them. So hopefully that's coming soon. And then in here I just have some packets of clay that I've mixed and then I've put them in little baggies because I want to use them again. And they're like too good to put into my scrap clay. So that's that drawer. I'm really happy with this because now I can just easily, if I need to get a new packet out, I can just reach in here. I used to have it in my cupboard, but I like it in here and there's a lot more space as well. And then the last drawer in here, I'm not going to show you in great detail because it's just got a bunch of boring files that I've collected over many years. Under that drawer, I then have some coloured paper that I use for craft, maybe backgrounds or card making if I still feel like making a card for someone. Under my desk, there's a shelf under here, so I just have some books that I've been reading. And I have this little book and it's Thoughts and Reflections. So pretty much what you do in here is every day for 3 years you write something, and then you kind of see what happened each year. So as you can see, I haven't filled it out for a while, but let me just turn down the brightness. So May 23rd was what annoyed you the most today and why. So every year for 3 years you'd write it and then you can just flick back and just look at all the memories that you've written down. So I thought that was really cool. This book came from Typo. Oh, there you can see. A line a day for 3 years. And then next to that I have an old planner which is like pineapple themed. Let me turn back the brightness. Then I have some camera stuff. So this is a case which holds my older camera that I used to use, which is the Canon 1100D, and the one I use currently is the camera that I'm using to film. If I can get it out, let me use my legs. So this is my older camera, the 1100D, and then the one I'm on right now I upgraded to the 70D, which has like the flip out screen and then a lot more settings as well. So that's that one. And then I have this other case which was next to that one, and then this would usually have my 70D in it, which I'm on right now. And then I also have in here some extra lenses, which I'll show you if I can get it open with one hand. Here you go. So usually my camera would be sitting in this middle part. Then under these flaps I have a few different lenses. So this is like a zoom lens. The one I'm on right now is just a regular lens. And then under this one I have, oh no, sorry, that's the zoom lens, this one. And then the one back over here, this is the macro lens. So this is how I get like super duper close-up shots, and I really love this one. It's a very good quality lens. A lot of you ask if I'm happy with my camera, because I think I mentioned one time that I got a new one. Yes, I'm very happy with the 70D. It does exactly what I want it to, and I have no complaints with it. The 1100D, I think it's a very good like starting out camera. Like, it lasted me a good few years of videoing and stuff. I only recently updated to the camera that I'm on now. This 1100D is definitely like a good like starter camera for beginners. The only thing that it didn't have for me was autofocus during video. You had to manually focus. It wouldn't, like, it focus at the beginning, and then once you had that focus, it wouldn't like focus by itself. So that was the main thing I wanted to do. Anyway, moving on. Over in this corner I just have a Christmas box which has some random makeup in it. I have a few like makeup bags, and then up here, I don't know if it's too dark to see, but there's some little like teddy keychains. Then down here I have just some spare white paper, plain paper. I have some A3 paper, plain, and then I just have my bin. Very exciting. So that was everything for my like main desk area, and now I'm just going to move over to my cupboard. Alrighty, so these are the two shelves in my cupboard that are mainly for crafting. Obviously I have other shelves as well, but they've got more like personal things on them. So these two are like solely just for crafting. This like bottom one here is mainly for art materials, and then this one has most of my craft material. So I'm going to start with this one. Right, to start off in the corner, I have, these are some adult colouring books. I have a whole bunch, and I only recently started collecting them. I got most of these this year, I mean like for Christmas last year, and then my birthday this year, which is only like 2 weeks after Christmas. So that's when I got all those. Then just down here I have some random like mascara and makeup that I use occasionally. In this tin I have, this is kind of sad, but these are like reject charms that I've never decided like what to do with them. Just haven't been bothered or been too lazy, and I just, you know, don't really like them. I might do something with them one day, but for now they just sit in the tin. Then this box behind here just has a whole bunch of random stuff. There's some, these are like crayons for drawing on your face, crayons. These are Scribbles little drizzle packs. There's some perfume behind there, a whole bunch of like, it's really random, like there's a microphone behind there, there's a remote control car, balloons, just a whole bunch of stuff really that doesn't have a place, so it just stays in this box. Then in the middle here I have a few clay things. So this box has, these are my restock charms, like my shop charms. So these ones are all ready to go. I'm still waiting to finish some of the other ones, and they all get put in here to stay safe from like dust and stay organized. So I won't show you too much detail because I don't want to spoil just yet what I've made. Then behind here I have my little needle felted kitties that I had a tutorial on. So there's those three. Just move them out of the way. On top here I then have some resin, and if you live in Australia, I know it's very hard to get resin, but apparently Spotlight recently started stocking resin, so I went and had a look and they actually did. So this is by the brand Craft Smart. Next on top of here I have this old magnet that, it was a magnet. This old piece that I made, and it's My Little Pony inspired, so it just has the main ponies, then I painted a little logo, and this was a magnet, but the magnets fell off because I only hot glued them. I didn't like super glue them, so it just peeled straight off, unfortunately. It doesn't fit in any of my charm boxes, so it just kind of floats around in my cupboard. And on top of these boxes I got these when I was younger. These are like foam shapes, so there's some flower ones, and then I just got some just regular shapes as well. And here I just have a few of my charm boxes. So this is my recent one with like most of my recent charms that you would have seen in my charm updates, which that one's not full yet. A lot of you have been asking for like a new charm collection. I want to do it when this one's like completely full, so there's no point of doing it quite yet. Then this one is like my completely full one, which I did do a charm collection video on. If you haven't seen that already, I'll leave a link down in the description box, but that just has like a whole bunch of charms. And then in the box back here, if I move the balloons, this is like a Cabochon box. So I was trying to collect Cabochons for a while so I could do like a whole bunch of deco, and I have everything organized in like color, like it's all color coordinated. Most of these are bought and some of them are also made. So if I show you, I have like these roses. They were bought from like a $2 store. But then I also have, you know, for example, I have some glittery wings which I made using some molds. And you'll see all those molds in a second when I do my resin tour. Then over here I have some like little paint containers, and they have mixtures of like clay icing, TLS and stuff in them. I then have this paper cutter guillotine thingy, just an old plastic one. It's not too sharp and it doesn't really work that great, but I keep it there anyway. Then I have like some craft supplies. I mean, not craft, sorry, art. So up here I have a whole bunch of colourful markers that I like to use. I then have like pencils. There's also more pencils, paper. There's, what are these ones? Oh, these are Derwent Inktense pencils, which are kind of like the watercolor pencils, but they're more, the colors are more vibrant and intense. I have some watercolor paints. There's some sketchbooks. I have some more markers which are in a box. I then have my big case of Derwent pencils, which I'll show you. Here's my big case. I just have all my pencils in their like original order, and I just keep them safe in there. For anyone who wasn't sure, Derwent is kind of like, oh, what's that other brand of pencil that everyone uses? Oh, I don't remember. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen. But it's kind of like equivalent to that. So this one's the 72 pack, and it just comes in a wooden box, which is very high quality. Under here I then have a bunch of other pencils. I think they might be Crayola, I'm not sure. But I used to have them when I was younger until I got the Derwent set. I then have, this is the eraser clay set that I used in one of my tutorials. I have this case of acrylic paints. I then have some acrylic paint. I have a spare Sculpey Bacon Bond, if it focuses. Nope. Then I have a little Mr. Potato Head container, which I used to put Tic Tacs in when I was younger, but he doesn't have any in him now. And then over here I have some canvases, and then up here on top of this big pile of magazines that I used to read, I have, these are Posca paint pens. So these are really good when I'm doing craft and like when I did card making. I just bought a whole bunch of colours, so here's the brand if anyone was interested. So they're kind of like paints, but they're in a pen form, so it's really easy to write with them, but it's still paint. And there goes my paint. So that's everything for the art shelf. Now moving up, I have the craft shelf. Starting over here, I just have this mirror, which I use sometimes when I'm doing my hair. I have, these are containers which pretty much just have a bunch of like sprinkles. There's clay sprinkles, and then I have real sprinkles as well. Behind here I just have some photos that were put up at work on my birthday. So here's a lovely photo of me sitting in a box at work on the floor. I then have a few up here I have some sprinkles. They're real ones, by the way. And then I have, these are some clay. What were these? Oh, this was for my granite tutorial, my clay granite tutorial. So this is like the chopped up black clay that I used to make my DIY granite clay. And I'll leave a link to that video in the description box if you're interested and haven't seen it already. I then have some boxes of amazing mold putty. So I got a newer one recently, and then this is the old one. And then behind here I have some bottles of resin, which I don't use those ones anymore. I use my other ones which you saw. I have some Fimo Deco Gel, liquid Deco Gel. I have just some regular craft glue. Then behind here, let me see if I can turn up the brightness. No, I can't. Behind here I have a whole bunch of micro marbles. So this is like a big cup of like little miniature bottles, and they all have micro marbles in them. I got these from a like $2 store. If you're in Australia, I got them from Cheap as Chips, if you're wondering. Back behind here I have some Mod Podge. I have my little deco shell that I made with the Sophie and Toffee kit. If you saw that video, I have some more micro marbles. There's some old triple thick glaze which I no longer use. Some spare super glue. Then a whole bunch of like beads in this little case. I haven't really used these for quite a while. And then I also have a spare tea Alice hiding behind there as well. Next up on this shelf I have 3 sets of drawers which all came from Kmart, I believe. So I'll start at the top. Firstly, I just have this, has like a bunch of old resin pieces in it. So I just keep them in there. And up behind here there's just some spare containers. Along from here, oh, this is my super old charm box, so like my very first one. I'll give you a quick look inside. So this is the one when I first started clay in 2012. These are probably charms I made from 2012 to maybe 2013, and it just has like a bunch of different compartments which are all organized into like fruit, food, objects, animals, etc. I don't actually have a charm collection video on that, but if you go through all my old charm updates, you will see all these charms anyway. Then up behind that, I have a whole bunch of piping tips, which I use for deco. So if I put that case back in there, and then over here on top of these shelves, I just have all my phone cases, and I'm not going to go through them. If anyone wants, I can make a separate video, but I have like a whole bunch that I've collected. These are all iPhone 5. So I've collected these over a few years since I got my iPhone 5. So I'll start at the top of this drawer. In this one I have all of my findings. So my main ones get put into this little case which is portable, and I can carry it around wherever I need to like put my findings on my charms. And then back here there's a random pair of cutters. And then behind here I have a whole bunch of like spare packets, backup packets pretty much, of findings. So there's like key rings, and it goes on for ages back there as well. So I won't pull it all out because it gets very messy, but they're all my findings. And I buy most of those not online actually. I get most of them from Spotlight. I use the vouchers when they have them. Then in this drawer I also have some more findings because they couldn't all fit in the top drawer. So there's a whole bunch under there. Then there's some custom slips under there. I have a bunch of molds, random molds that I tried to make one time. I then have the Martha Stewart molds. There's some washi tape, and then right back there, there's some paint samples that I collected, like rainbow ones, which I was going to do a craft on, but I never ended up doing it. Then in this drawer I have some more shop stuff. So these are pre-packaged business cards which I put in the baggies. Back here I have, this is what I use to measure my packages with, because this is a 2 centimeter gap. If I can get the package through it, my package will count as a letter, not an actual like package. So it's much cheaper. Rather than being $7 for a package just to send a few charms, it only works out to be like $3 or $4 for an international package. So I just make sure like the width of each package is like fits through there pretty much. Then I have some more baggies, and then there's just some, oh, what is that? Oh, I have some gold chain, just spare gold chain, and then there's some like stapler stuff as well. And lastly, in this bigger drawer, these 3 are all the same size, and then the last ones are like, the bottom ones are bigger. This just has a whole bunch of jewelry that I can't fit in my actual like jewelry cabinet, so it all just gets put in here. It does kind of look chaotic, but it's organized chaos. So I know where everything is, but you may not. Moving on to this one, the top drawer has like, this was shop stuff I was working on ages ago when I started selling some star molds of like my handmade star, but they had a lot of like imperfections in them, so I just never got around to selling them and didn't want to sell them. I might sell them for B grade one day. Just let me know if you guys want them. Like, they've got a few little like bubble marks in them, but if you're using clay you can just smooth that out anyway. And here are just a few reject charms from like shop updates that I never wanted to sell. Like, for example, this star charm, it had a tiny speck of dust in it, so I didn't want to sell it, and I've never got around to listing them as like a B grade charm. Apart from that, it's empty in that drawer. Oh, then there's another empty drawer, and then in this one, this is kind of like my deco area, so I'll show you everything in here. To start off with, on top I have this is the Always a Princess phone case kit that I got from Sophie and Toffee, and I did a video on. I then have a bunch of like business cards that I got from places that I've purchased from. Then here I have a bunch of like deco cream. So this is from La Petite Épicerie from France, which I did a video on. This is from Sophie and Toffee. This is from, Mum got it from Canada when she went over there, and it's the Alex Plus silicone, white silicone. And then here I just have a small like chocolate deco sauce scribbles sort of kit. Then over here I've got there's some random cabochons. They're also from the Sophie and Toffee kit. I've got some like piping tips. There's a whole bunch of beads back here. Some sprinkles as well. I think they're made out of clay. There's some more deco sauce under there, under all the beads. Here's some little deco containers that I bought. There's a bowl and then like a little star trinket box that I want to deco one day. And then here I have some plain phone cases that I've been using in my recent tutorials, my like recent phone case tutorials. And I bought those off AliExpress. I got 10 and I think it was about $4 maybe. And then this last set of drawers over here has some clay stuff in it. So up the top I have some like less popular clay tools that I like to use. As you saw before, my main ones are in my little clay storage box. So these are ones that I don't use very often, but they're still like here if I need them. I then have some more random tools. This is a set of very small cookie cutters that I use for clay as well. So there's a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes. And that came from eBay, I believe. The next drawer has, this is where I put charms ready to bake. So sneak peek. These ones are for tutorials which may already be out before I put this video up. Then in here I just have some random clay that I've mixed and just kind of set it in here. Here's some leftover galaxy clay from the tutorial I made that I just put in here. Yeah, this is a failed dragon that I tried to make like 2 years ago and never finished, so he just kind of stays in there. In this next drawer, pretty random, it's just got some like texturing material, so that's just like a piece of plastic that I sometimes use to texture my clay. And then I have some paper plates which I use to make waffle cones, so it has like a really nice texture. And then there's just some random beado creations that I made with the 2 girls that I babysit, so I made them a couple of years ago. And then here's some more jewelry. And then the last drawer is random as well. Back here I have my clay from Sophie and Toffee, the clay that you can boil. And then I have some glass bottles, I've got some baking paper. Then down here I've got some random clay beads that I made. There's some little packets of eyeshadow I found in my room one time when I was cleaning it. So I kind of use them as like, they act as sort of Pearl X pigments, so I use them for clay sometimes. And then in this corner there's just like some random like glitter and other things. Right, so that's everything for those 2 shelves, and now I'm going to finally move on to my resin craft area. So this is the container that holds everything I may use or like need to use for resin. This big container slides, it's on wheels and it slides under my bed, but for the purpose of this video I've just put it out on my carpet so I can show you everything. So down the front here I have a bunch of different molds. There's some like cupcake ones, and these are just all random silicone molds that I use. I have this container of glitter which is very, very bright. There we go. So there's some random glitter in there. Then in here I have a box full of glitter as well. So these are just like little containers of glitter that I sometimes use if I need to. Then sitting right on the top I have my most used glitter. So this is my big packet of like, it's meant to be like fluoro glitter, but it's not all fluoro anyway. So in this it has 2 of each colour. There's a fine glitter and then a chunky glitter as well. So I also use this in my clay if you've seen my galaxy tutorial or anything like that. I also have this one which is just fine glitter and it has a bunch of different colours as well. I got both of these packs from Spotlight. Then here I have some more chalk pastels, and these are just from a craft store. So as you can see, you don't have to buy them online, you can get them from craft stores as well. Down the side here I have a whole bunch of cups. So these are like mixing cups, and then I have some like popsicle mixing sticks as well. Here in this little box I have a whole bunch of homemade molds. I then have a few packets of shot glasses which I find very handy for mixing like different colours and glitter and everything in. So I use those for doing that. And then at the back area here I have most of my molds. So there's like a pineapple mold, there's some Christmas molds that I've never opened. I get most of my molds from just like random stores. You can get them from craft stores. I get a lot from $2 stores as well. Like they're just ice cube and chocolate molds, but they work really well for resin. All these ones are silicone, by the way. And then lastly, right down the side here, I have my collection of plastic resin molds. So I bought I got them for Christmas presents, but I chose them. I got most of them from either Molded from Love or Rockstar Hottie, both on Etsy or Store Envy. I don't remember which one. And I also got a few from Amy or Little Surprises YT as well. So there's like cat ones, there's some wing ones. Behind here I have some random felt and a whole bunch of stickers as well, which I guess I'll show you. Everything in the resin box, and with that completes the craft area tour. So thank you so much for watching this highly requested video. Also thank you if you made it all the way to the end. I know it's very long, but I wanted to go in a lot of detail because there's not really any point like making it if I don't go into detail. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys!